What is your path to Dharma?
Welcome, welcome, dear friends. Path to Dharma podcast. I am Shannon. I'm here with my beautiful daughter, Shay. We are reading the Srimad Bhagavatam. It's dark and early right now where we're at. We get up early for this. It's a really nice way to start the day, and we love and appreciate you for being here. Thank you so much. If you've come to hear the Srimad Bhagavatam and have someone explain it to you, you are not in the right place. If you've come to read with us and experience it with us, you are in the right place. We're reading this first time. This is real time. We're reading it and discussing it and reacting to it. And we are so infinitely grateful for every single comment that we get. Every moment of discussion we have with you all is just precious to us. So thank you so much for that. And how are we this morning, Shay? How are you?
I'm doing good. I love waking up early for this. Like you said, it's the
Yeah.
best part of my day when we do it like this.
Yeah.
So, slept well and excited to jump on in. I feel like we're in a very good storyline right now.
We're in a great part. So we have just been learning about Jada Bharata. So fascinating. And I've just really been reflecting on this whole thing about Bharata becoming a deer and then becoming Jada Bharata and just remembering all that and just wow, just how I don't know, deep, intense of a character this is.
Yeah, yeah,
And just everything we can learn from what he's saying. And just when he's talking to King Rahugana and just breaking it down, like, no, this is not the purpose of life is not to get objects and money,
right.
and boss people around and have them carry you around and all that. It's not good, King. It's not great. Like, no.
Actually, it's the opposite from what we've been told our whole life.
Right. Right. Growing up and living in America, money is the thing that rules everything here. And we've been told that that's our whole purpose in life is to get money, be
Get money,
successful, whatever
accumulate
that means. Yeah.
things, have the big,
Accumulate things,
all the
power,
things. So,
money, right? Influence, whatever, all that thing, all of that. And Jada Bharata is explaining that his life, that time was so intense that he's like, I'm not even going to interact with even my own family. I understand who they are. They think that my dad thinks that's my dad, but actually, no, like I'm a realized soul. I'm going back up. I'm not coming back as my dad or
right.
whatever.
Which I think
That's
I reflected upon this last time, but I just loved like staying with the character and hearing their many layers, as we
yeah,
have been, as we
yeah, as we
have
have
been.
been.
But Jada Barata brought something different for sure.
So good. So good. Okay, well, let's get into chapter 15, but let's do some obeisances first, yeah?
Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, one must first offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supremest human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed. Loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact.
Boom. That whole thing about having what happens to you when you listen to the Srimad Bhagavatam, it's just, I feel like it's coming true before my very eyes.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy because it's not that things haven't stopped happening to me or things that I don't prefer haven't happened, but my perception of everything is changing. It's crazy. It's so good.
It's so good. It's such a gift. All right.
Okay.
Fifth Canto, Chapter 15, The Glories of the Descendants of King Priyavrata.
Okay. I remember him from like a little bit back. We were talking about him. Okay. Text
Yes,
one.
it's true.
Srila Sukadeva Goswami continued. The son of Maharaja Bharata, known as Sumati, followed the path of Ṛṣabha, but some unscrupulous people imagined him to be Lord Buddha himself. These people, who were actually atheistic and of bad character, took up the Vedic principles in an imaginary, infamous way to support their activities. Thus, these sinful people accepted Sumati as Lord Buddhadeva and propagated the theory that everyone should follow the principles of Sumati. In this way, they were carried away by mental concoction. Oh, like a fake prophet slash fake avatar slash, yeah, that's familiar. Seems like there's a lot of those people floating around.
From Sumati, a son named Devachit Devachit was born by the womb of his wife named Vridhasena.
Thereafter, in the womb of Asuri, the wife of David Devadajit,
There you
a,
go.
s-
Yeah.
a son named David Dyumna. David Dyumna was begotten. David Dyumna begot in the womb of his wife Dunumati, a son named Paramethsi. Paramethsi begot a son named Pritha in the womb of his wife, no, Pratiha in the womb of his wife, Suvakala.
King Pratiha personally propagated the principles of self-realization. In this way, not only was he purified, but he became a great devotee of the Supreme Lord, Lord Viṣṇu, and directly realized him.
Okay, so just to kind of like be clear about what we're seeing here, it's like we see a few generations of children being born, sons being born. We finally get to King Pratiha,
Mm-hmm.
who is self-realized. Okay. In the womb of his wife, Suvarkala, Pratiha begot three sons named Pratiharta, Prastota, and Udgata. These three sons were very expert in performing Vedic rituals. Pratiharta begot two sons named Aja and Bhuma in the womb of his wife named Stuti.
Okay. I'm taking a deep breath for these names. Thank you.
I know. Thank you for
Thank
your
you.
patience, everyone.
In the womb of his wife, Kulya, King Bhuma begot a son named Udgita. From Udgita's wife, Devakulya, a son named Prastava was born, and Prastava begot a son named Vibhu with his wife. In the womb of his wife Rati, Vibhu begot a son named Pratusena. Pratusena, oh, now I lost my spot, begot a son named Natka in the womb of his wife named Makuti. Natka's wife was Druti, and from her womb the great king Gaya was born. Gaya was very famous and pious. He was the best of saintly kings. Lord Viṣṇu and his expansions, who were meant to protect the universe, are always situated in the transcendental mode of goodness, known as Visuddhasattva. Being in the direct expansion of Lord Viṣṇu, King Gaya, who was Gaya, was also situated in the Visuddhasattva. Because of this, Maharaja Gaya was fully equipped with transcendental knowledge. Therefore, he was called Mahapurusha.
Okay. King Gaya gave full protection and security to the citizens so that their personal property would not be disturbed by undesirable elements. He also saw that there was sufficient food to feed all the citizens. He would sometimes distribute gifts to the citizens to satisfy them. He would sometimes call meetings and satisfy the citizens with sweet words. He would also give them good instructions on how to become first-class citizens. Such were the characteristics of King Gaya's royal order. Besides all this, King Gaya was a householder who strictly observed the rules and regulations of household life. He performed sacrifices and was an unalloyed, pure devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He was called Mahapurusha because as a king, he gave the citizens all facilities, and as a householder, And as a householder, he executed all his duties, so that at the end he became a strict devotee of the Supreme Lord. As a devotee, he was always ready to give respect to the other devotees and to engage in the devotional service of the Lord. This is the bhakti yoga process. Due to all these transcendental activities, King Gaia was always free from the bodily conception. He was full in Brahman realization, and consequently, he was always jubilant. He did not experience material lamentation. Although he was perfect in all respects, he was not proud, nor was he anxious to rule the kingdom. Wow.
My dear King Pariksit, those who are learned scholars in the histories of the Puranas eulogize and glorify King Gaia with the following verses.
The great King Gaia used to perform all kinds of Vedic rituals. He was highly intelligent and expert in studying all the Vedic literatures. He maintained the religious principles and possessed all kinds of opulence. He was a leader among gentlemen and a servant of the devotees. He was a totally qualified plenary expansion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, who could equal him in the performance of gigantic ritualistic ceremonies?
All the chaste and honest daughters of Maharaja Daksa, whose blessings were always effective, bathed Maharaja Gaia with sacrificed water. Indeed, they were very satisfied with Maharaja Gaia. The planet Earth personified came as a cow, and as though she saw her calf, she delivered milk profusely when she saw all the good qualities of Maharaja Gaia. In other words, Maharaja Gaia was able to derive all benefits from the earth and thus satisfy the desires of his citizens. However, he personally had no desire.
Although King Gaia had no personal desire for sense gratification, all his desires, excuse me, all his desires were fulfilled by virtue of his performance of Vedic rituals. All the kings whom Maharaja Gaia had to fight were forced to fight on religious principles. They were very satisfied with his fighting, and they would present all kinds of gifts to him. Similarly, all the Brahmins in his kingdom were very satisfied with King Gaia's munificent charities. Consequently, the Brahmins contributed a sixth of their pious activities for King Gaia's benefit in the next life.
In Maharaja Gaia's sacrifices, there was a great supply of the intoxicant known as soma. I was just listening about a thing about
Interesting.
Soma. King Indra used to come and become intoxicated by drinking large quantities of soma rasa. Also, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Viṣṇu, also came and personally accepted all the sacrifices offered unto him with pure and firm devotion in the sacrificial arena.
Well, what is soma then, Shay? What is it?
They don't know. They don't know what, I mean, it's just.
Okay. It's just referred to as something that the gods drink.
Yes. And that people in Vedic culture would drink. Yeah.
Oh, okay. They also drank it. Okay, that's right. They sacrificed it. They offered it to the gods. Okay.
Mhm.
But if Indra is becoming intoxicated, that's
Well,
really
yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, people were saying what I was listening to a thing yesterday by Rick Dublin, who is the MAPS founder of MAPS, and I can't remember what MAPS stands for, but psychedelics. And
Okay.
so they were saying that they thought that soma was maybe psilocybin at one point or amanita mushrooms, but they were saying that no, that Vedic
We really don't know.
it's neither. We don't know what it is.
Like there isn't a recipe somewhere that we have saying
Right.
how to make it, for example. Okay.
Right.
Curious what what everyone thinks about that. What's your
Yeah.
comment on Soma? Okay. Text 13. When the Supreme Lord is pleased by a person's actions, automatically all the demigods, human beings, animals, birds, bees, creepers, trees, grass, and all other living entities, beginning with Lord Brahma, are pleased. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is the super soul of everyone, and he is by nature fully pleased. Nonetheless, he came to the arena of Maharaja Gaia and said, I am fully pleased. It's pretty good. That's pretty good.
In the womb of Gayanti, Maharaja Gaya begot 3 sons named Chitrarata, Sugati, and Avaradana. In the womb of his wife Urna, Chitrarata begot a son named Samrat. The wife of Samrat was Utkala, and in her womb Samrat begot a son named Marishi. In the womb of his wife, Marishi begot a son named Bindu. In the womb of his wife, Saraga, Bindu begot a son named Madhu. In the womb of his wife, named Sumana, Madhu begot a son named Viravrata. In the womb of his wife, Bhoja, Vivarata begot 2 sons named Mantu and Pamantu. In the womb of his wife, Satya, Mantu begot a son named Bhavana. And in the womb of his wife, Bhavana begot a son named Tvatsa. In the womb of his wife, Tvatsa begot a son named Viraha. The wife of Viraha was Visuchi, and in her womb, Viraja begot 100 sons and 100 daughters. All of
Whoa.
these
And 1 daughter. 100
and
sons, 1 daughter.
and 1 daughter. Of all these sons, the son named Satyajit was predominant.
100 sons. That's a lot. That was 11 generations I just counted. I thought 10 or 11. There's a famous verse about King Viraja. Because of his high qualities and wide fame, King Viraja became the jewel of the dynasty of King Priyavrata, just as Lord Viṣṇu, by his transcendental potency, decorates and blesses the demigods. And that is the end of chapter 15, talking about the descendants of King Priyavrata. So that was a lot of descendants, because just that last section was 11. So this is like generations and generations and generations. It keeps going, keeps going. And it's as if Lord Viṣṇu keeps incarnating in the same line.
Right.
Am I catching that right?
I think so.
Okay. Shall we continue chapter 16, a description of Jambūdvīpa. Jambūdvīpa. Yes.
King Pariksit, text 1. King Pariksit said to Sukadeva Goswami, O Brahman, you have already informed me that the radius of Bhumandala extends as far as the sun spreads its light, and heat as far as the moon and all the stars can be seen. Okay, we're getting...
Oh, this is different. We're switching topic here.
Yeah.
My dear Lord, the rolling wheels of Mahaparaja Priyavrata's chariot created 7 ditches in which the 7 oceans came into existence. Because of these 7 oceans, Bhumandala is divided into 7 islands. You have given a very general description of their measurement, names, and characteristics. Now I wish to know of them in detail. Kindly fulfill my desire. Oh, wow. This is a whole different bunch of information we're about to get.
Okay, Bhumandala, it seems, is a planetary system.
So. Okay.
When the mind is fixed upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his external feature, made of the material modes of nature, the gross universal form, it is brought to the platform of pure goodness. In that transcendental position, one can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vasudeva, who in his subtler form is self-effulgent and beyond the modes of nature. O my Lord, please describe vividly how that form, which covers the entire universe, is perceived.
Please do.
Good question.
The great Rishi Sukadeva Goswami said, my dear king, there is no limit to the expansion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead's material energy. This material world is a transformation of the material qualities, yet no one could possibly explain it perfectly, even in a lifetime as long as that of Brahma. No one in the material world is perfect, and an imperfect person could not describe this material universe accurately, even after continued speculation. O king, I shall nevertheless try to explain to you the principal regions, such as Bhugoloka and their names forms, measurements, and various symptoms. This should be good. I'm excited for this. Yes. Okay. Okay. Give it a shot, Sukadev Goswami. I'm down to listen. Let's
Yeah.
hear.
The planetary system known as Bhumandala resembles a lotus flower, and its 7 islands resemble the whorl of that flower. The length and breadth of that island, known as Jambūdvīpa, which is situated in the middle of the whorl, are 1,000,000 yojanas, 8 million miles. Jambūdvīpa is round like the leaf of a lotus flower.
In Jambūdvīpa, there are 9 divisions of land, each with a length of 9,000 yojanas or 72,000 miles. There are 8 mountains in that. There are 8 mountains that mark the boundaries of these divisions and separate them nicely.
Amidst these divisions is the Varsa, named Yavrita, which is situated in the middle of the whorl of the lotus. Within, I'm saying that like Spanish, the 2 L's. I don't know really how to.
Ilavarta? Ilavarta? Ilavarta?
Varsa is
Varsa.
Sumeru Mountain, which is made of gold. Sumeru Mountain is like the pericarp of the lotus, like Bu Mandala planetary system. I can't read right now. The mountain's height is the same as the width of Jambūdvīpa, or in other words, 800,000 miles. Of that, 128,000 miles are within the earth, and therefore the mountain's height above the earth is 672,000 miles. The mountain's width is 256,000 miles at its summit and 16,000 yojanas at its base.
We've literally never even seen or said any of some of these words before.
I know. I'm like, okay, wait, what's up? Because I just like feel like I butchered that. Now I'm like, what did they just say?
He was just describing the dimensions of
Okay.
this mountain, Sumeru Mountain, which is like sitting in the Bhumandala planetary system. So
Okay.
just describe the dimensions. Just north of Ilavarta Varsa and going further northward, one after another, are 3 mountains named Nila, Sveta, and Sringavan. These mark the borders of the 3 Varsas named Ramyaka, Hiranmaya, and Kuru and separate them from one another. The width of these mountains is 16,000 miles. Likewise, they extend east and west to the beaches of the ocean of salt water. Going from north to south, the length of each mountain is 1/10 of that of the previous mountain, but the height of them is all the same. So it's just this giant mountain range he's describing.
Okay. Similarly, south of Ilavrata Varsa and extending from east to west are 3 great mountains named Nisada, Hemukuta, and Himalaya. Each of them is 80,000 miles high. They mark the boundaries of the 3 Varsas named Parivarsa, Kimpurusha Varsa, and Bharata Varsa, India.
In the same way, west and east of Ilavrata Varsa are 2 great mountains named Malyavan and Gandhamandana, respectively. These 2 mountains, which are 16,000 miles high, extend as far as Nila Mountain in the north and Nisada in the south. They indicate the borders of Ilavrata Varsa and also the Varnas, known as Ketumala and Bhadrasa.
This might be difficult for people to listen to.
Hang in there, guys.
On the 4 sides of the great mountain known as Sumeru are 4 mountains: Mandara, Meru Mandara, Suparsva, and Kamuda, which are like its belts. The length and height of these mountains are calculated to be 80,000 miles.
Standing like flagstaffs on the summits of these 4 mountains are a mango tree, a rose apple tree, a kadamba tree, and a banyan tree. These trees are calculated to have a width of 800 miles and a height of 8,800 miles. Their branches also spread to a radius of 8,000 miles.
I mean, these are
Wow.
some big old
Massive trees. Okay.
mountains and trees. Like
And
these are.
mountain and trees. Yeah.
O Maharaja Pariksit, best of the Bharata dynasty. Between these four mountains are four huge lakes. The water of the first tastes just like milk, the water of the second like honey, and that of the third like sugarcane juice. I remember we learned about this
Mhm.
way back.
Way back.
The fourth lake is filled with pure water. The celestial beings such as the Siddhas, Karanas, and Gandharvas, who are also known as demigods, enjoy the facilities of these four lakes. Consequently, they have the natural perfection of mystic yoga, such as the power to become smaller than the smallest or greater than the greatest. There are also four celestial gardens named Nandanda, Chaitrahapa, okay, butcher that, Vabrajaka, and Sarvatobhadra.
The best of the demigods, along with their wives, who are like ornaments of heavenly beauty, meet together and enjoy within those gardens, while their glories are sung by the lesser demigods known as Gandharvas.
On the lower slopes of Mandara Mountain is a mango tree named Devachuta, and it is 1100 yojanas high. Mangoes are as big as mountain peaks and as sweet as nectar fall from the top of this tree for the enjoyment of the denizens of heaven.
When all those solid fruits fall from such a height, they break, and the sweet, fragrant juice within them flows out and becomes increasingly more fragrant as it mixes with other scents. That juice cascades from the mountain in waterfalls and becomes a river called Arunoda, which flows pleasantly through the eastern side of Ilvrata.
The pious wives of the Yaksas act as personal maidservants to assist Bhavani, the wife of Lord Shiva. Because they drink the water of the river Arunoda, their bodies become fragrant, and as the air carries away that fragrance, it perfumes the entire atmosphere for 80 miles around.
Similarly, the fruits of the jambu tree, which are full of pulp and have very small seeds, fall from a great height and break into pieces. Those fruits are the size of elephants, and the juice gliding from them becomes a river named Jambu Nadi. This river falls a distance of 10,000 yojanas from the summit of Meru Mandara to the southern side of Ilavarta. The floods and the entire land and floods the entire land of Ilavarta with juice.
The mud on both banks of the river Jambunati, being moistened by the flowing juice and then dried by the air and sunshine, produces high qualities of gold, called Jambunata. The denizens of heaven use this gold for various kinds of ornaments. Therefore, all the inhabitants of the heavenly planets and their youthful wives are fully decorated with golden helmets, bangles, and belts, and thus they enjoy life.
On the side of Supavarsa mountain stands a big tree called Mahakadamba, which is very celebrated. From the hollows of this tree flow 5 rivers of honey, each about 5 yamas wide. This flowing honey falls incessantly from the top of Subarsa mountain and flows all around Ilavrata Varsa, beginning from the western side. Thus, the whole land is saturated with its pleasing fragrance.
The air carrying the scent from the mouths of those who drink that honey perfumes the land for 100 yojanas around.
Similarly, on Kumuda Mountain, there is a great banyan tree, which is called Shata Valsa because it has 100 main branches. From those branches come many roots from which many rivers are flowing. These rivers flow down from the top of the mountain to the northern side of Ilavrata Varsa for the benefit of those who live there. Because of these flowing rivers, all the people have ample supplies of milk, yogurt, honey, clarified butter, molasses, food grains, clothes, bedding, sitting places, and ornaments. All the objects they desire are sufficiently supplied for their prosperity, and therefore they are very happy.
Um, the residents of the material world who enjoy the products of these flowing rivers have no wrinkles on their bodies and no gray hair. They never fatigue, and perspiration does not give their body a bad odor. They are not afflicted by old age, disease, or ultimately death, or untimely death. They do not suffer from chilly cold or scorching heat, nor do their bodies lose their luster. They all live very happily without anxieties until death.
Wow. I mean, that sounds kind of amazing to go chill there for an incarnation or two, right? Because Earth life is hard. Like, let's go there for a minute. Like, can I go there after this one? Just like chill for a couple lifetimes and then just eat and, be free and happy.
But we'll see. We'll see. I don't know.
We'll see, right. There are other mountains beautifully arranged around the foot of Mount Meru, like the filaments around the whorl of a lotus flower. Their names are, and then there's like 16 names.
Yep.
Yeah.
On the eastern side of Sumeru Mountain are two mountains named Jatara and Devakuta, which extend to the north and south for 144,000 miles. Similarly, on the western side of Sumeru are two mountains named Pavana and Pariyatra, which also extend north and south for the same distance. On the southern side of Sumeru are two mountains named Kailasa and Karavira, which extend east and west for 18,000 yojanas. And on the northern side of Sumeru, extending to the same distance east and west, are two mountains named Trishringa and Makara. The width and height of these mountains is 16,000 miles. Sumeru, a mountain of solid gold shining as brightly as fire, is surrounded by these 8 mountains.
In the middle of the summit of Meru is the township of Lord Brahma. Each of its 4 sides is calculated to extend for 10 million miles. No, 10 million yojanas, which is 80 million miles. It is made entirely of gold, and therefore learned scholars and sages call it Sata Kumbhahi.
Surrounding Brahmapuri in all directions are the residents of the 8 principal governors of the planetary systems, beginning with King Indra. These abodes are similar to Brahmapuri, but are 1/4 the size.
Okay, so this is where the gods and the demigods are living, or some of them, because there's all sort of different lokas, different places and planetary systems that people can chill when they're
Oh,
mortal.
next chapter. It's the descent of the river Ganges.
Ah,
The story. Do we have time or
I don't
no?
know. Do you have time is the question.
Uh, I mean, not honestly, really, but not too long. Maybe we should pick it up there, though. I think that'll be a good starting point next time.
Okay, we're gonna stop here. Um, that that was like a couple chapters of describing people and places.
Happens sometimes.
It
Yeah,
does happen that way sometimes. It's not that we can't learn from that. Of course we can.
right.
But um, I I think some of these chapters are here to just kind of remind us of the complex nature of this whole creation.
Well, and I know that sometimes it can be tedious saying all of those names, uh, but just this idea of like it generation after generation after generation
Yes,
after
yes,
generation, and then there's a realized soul, and
right.
then generation, and then another realized soul. It's like, okay,
Yeah, right. I was thinking the other day about how many people are born on Earth and how few of us have an original idea or have something to say that really is meaningful. Most of us are just bills in the china shop, just crashing through life, trying
yeah,
to not break stuff anyway.
right, right.
All right. Well, thank you, dear friends, for listening. If you've made it this far, we love and appreciate you so much. And we're gonna pick it up next week with the emergence of the River Ganges. Yeah.
Woohoo! Yes.
Okay.
Ah,
All right. See
all
you
right.
next week.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.